What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my top 5 tricep builders. I know triceps are not really my strongest muscle group. I mean, if anything, they're one of my weaker ones. Arms and shoulders specifically are probably my weakest body parts other than calves. But we don't talk about that. But regardless, I'm going to be giving you my top 5 tricep builders in no particular order. These are just the 5 that I've found to give me the best results. So let's get right into it. So when we talk about the triceps, there's 3 heads, so the tri prefix. So you got the medial, lateral, and long head of the tricep, and the medial and lateral heads only cross the elbow joint, whereas the long head crosses the elbow joint and the shoulder joints, so it's affected by your shoulder position. So when you raise the arm up overhead, it's gonna get a bigger stretch, and when we have it back behind our torso, it's gonna be contracted more. So for the most part, we want exercises that are gonna prioritize having the arm held up overhead so we can get a bigger stretch on that long head, and that's been shown to grow the tricep better. So the first exercise I'm gonna have on the list is probably my favorite tricep exercise of all, and that is the seated easy bar overhead extension. I really like this free weight tricep variation because it provides a lot of tension at the bottom and you get a really deep stretch. And personally for me, I prefer this over the cable. I just find that with the cable, when I'm standing upright and stuff, like my lower back can kind of get a little sore. I really don't have a good lower back. And I do think, then you can make the argument, why don't you just do that seated? I find it really awkward to get in position again to do that seated, the cable overhead extension. So I really like the easy bar overhead extension. Really easy, very easy progressive overload, and it's got the arm up overhead, so we're getting maximum stretch on that long head. That's my first exercise. Freaking love this one. Next up, I'm gonna go with the dumbbell skull crusher, and maybe unpopular because I feel like most people for skull crushers, they would probably just prefer an easy bar, but I also really like doing unilateral movements for my tricep because my tricep strength anyway is actually pretty uneven. My right tricep is quite a bit stronger than my left, so by doing a unilateral movement like this, it's going to allow for equal development from both arms rather than one arm just taking over. And I like the skull crusher again because we've got the arm up overhead and it's providing a lot of tension in that stretch position. So find this exercise very comfortable for me. Now, if it does give you elbow pain, I would focus on trying to slow the eccentric and definitely do higher reps. I find higher rep work for my skull crushers is a lot better. That's helped me managing any elbow pain I've had on it. I mean, because I do the higher reps and I warm up properly, I don't get any, but I used to when I was doing lower reps. So if you do get elbow pain on this, try slowing the eccentric and doing higher reps, but another solid exercise. The last exercise that I'm going to put up here for our overhead movements is going to be the katana tricep overhead extension. Now again, love this exercise because it's unilateral, but we also have our arms overhead, and I find it's really easy to actually get in position for this one. So you just grab both cables and you do a little twisty twist, gets you right into position, trains the triceps really well at that length and position, and it's unilateral, feels really comfortable to me. So I freaking love this exercise, and it's definitely a staple that I do all the time. So for this one, you're probably going to have to go lighter. I would again recommend high reps for this exercise to really feel that mind-muscle connection in the tricep. And even on my last set, always do a drop set with it, and I drop the weight quite a bit, and I bang it out more, feel the burn in the long head and the medial and lateral heads of the tricep. Love that exercise. Next up, our first like press down movement, I guess, where our arm isn't overhead. That's gonna have to be the Janicki press down. This is probably a hot take because all you bro lifters are like, oh, this is ridiculous, just do a regular tricep press down. But hear me out. When you do a normal tricep press down, sometimes, for me anyway, I can feel my rear delts really taking over, but when I have the weight pulling from behind me, like in the Janicki press down, the rear delts are completely taken out of the movement, and I find I can get more range of motion because the weight is really pulling my arm to like my shoulder, so I can get super good range of motion. It feels freaking great, and it's seated as well, so it feels better on my back and my core, especially because when I'm doing regular tricep press downs, my core is really activated, but when I'm seated, I can focus more of the tension on the triceps. So I love this spin-off variation of the tricep press down from Eric Janicki. He's the guy who made it up, hence the Janicki push down. Freaking love this exercise, and that is definitely on my list. And finally, I'm going to go with the close grip bench press, dumbbell or barbell, doesn't really matter to me, but I freaking love this exercise, and specifically, I love doing it after I do my skull crushers. So I'll go to failure on the set of like dumbbell or barbell skull crushers, and then I'll rep out some more close grip bench. I think this is a god tier superset / drop set type movement that will really burn out the triceps. But even on its own, I think the close grip bench press is great. Now, it's probably not the best exercise because when you press, you're actually not working the long head of the tricep all that well, because as you go up, it's shortening at the elbow and lengthening at the shoulder. And when you go down, it's lengthening at the elbow and shortening at the shoulder. So the actual total muscle length doesn't really change that much in the long head. So I would definitely say this is more a medial and lateral head type of tricep movement, but that's still, it makes it a great movement. It's super easy to progressive overload, and I freaking love it, especially when I do that superset. But even on its own, I think it's a great exercise. Now, when I do it, I kind of like to press from my abdomen a little bit instead of up on my chest. That helps me anyway, engage the triceps over the chest. But obviously that's just me, and if you like pressing in a different orientation or whatever, that's completely fine, wherever you feel your triceps the best. So you might be a little surprised that I don't have any like kickback variations and stuff like that, or one arm dumbbell overhead extension and stuff like that. I personally really don't like doing one arm exercises at a time, and I think kickbacks, like cable kickbacks, are not too bad, but you got to do it one arm at a time, and it really prioritizes the contraction, which is probably not as good for muscle growth. And then dumbbell kickbacks are probably the worst tricep exercise you can do, because you literally get no tension in the stretch and all the tension in the contraction. So it's probably the worst out of every tricep exercise. It feels awkward. The resistance curve feels awkward too. I don't really like it, but those are my 5 exercises. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree with me, or if there's another exercise you'd have instead of one of these 5. Again, this is very subjective, and I'm all open to your opinions. These are just my top 5, and they're in no particular order. They're all going to freaking blow up your triceps. So thank you so much for watching, and if you're new here, please do hit that subscribe button. We are very close to 800 subs at the time of recording this video, actually 799, so I would really appreciate it. But thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.